Hey, yo, what is going on, everybody? Depraved Slasher, and we are back with another music reaction. I am here with Hellcat.
I am.
Together, we are
HellaDepraved.
and we are checking out King Blitz more. Now, homie, I do want you to know I seen you. I did not forget about you. This is being recorded on the day you drop this. It's just not being dropped until Monday because I've got content coming out for Sunday already, and I wanted some stuff for Monday and to spend time with her, and so we're doing this. But yeah, so by the time you see this, when you see this, yes, it was recorded on the day you dropped it. With that being said, though, so King Blitz is the homie, native, well, he's from Southern Indiana. He's not really from Indianapolis, but he's from Indiana nonetheless, lives out in Atlanta now. One of the most humble dudes I know personally on YouTube. Does a lot of reactions, live reactions. I haven't made hardly any in a long time. Again, sorry for that, Blitz. I will be around more. Again, just this week was a vacation week. I haven't been to anyone's lives. I think the only live I showed up to was the bars recorded tonight.
Partially because I'm a bouncer in the bar as well. So
right. So I've just been spending all my time with her before I have to go back home to India, and she goes back to New Mexico. So for those of you wondering where I've been, there you go. If you haven't been watching the Eminem reactions that have been pumping out over this whole entire week. But no, so we're here for King Blitz. The song is called More. I have every bit of a clue as far as what we're getting to, but no clue at all. No, it doesn't make sense. I love Blitz, so I know what I'm getting to with Blitz, but it's always interesting to see the take that he comes with things.
I also don't have that much experience with King Blitz, other than what I've seen Depraved react to on his channel so far. So it'll be new for me.
Now, this does look like an actual video as opposed to a lyric video, which will be really cool to see. At least I think it is. I could be wrong. We shall see. Anyways, guys, without further ado, we're going to slash it up. We're going to break it down the best that we do. Let's go, baby. Good tune? Okay, there it goes.
I think what you're trying to ask is, why am I so insistent upon giving out to them that blackness, that black power, that black pushing them to identify with black culture? I think that's what you're asking. I have no choices.
They ain't giving me no choices. Growing up, I seen the marriage and divorces, yeah. Only option was a dream and endorsements. But too much trauma got me out here hearing voices. Man, it got me in my mind, got me thinking blind. Cause if I ain't on my grind, then I'm facing time. I wish my life was like a movie I can press.
So, got me on my grind. It's either that or I'm facing time. Is just a reference to the struggle that people that don't grow up in a nice situation do go through. Hard to get out there, hard to find a living doing what it is that you want to do. So it's either he's grinding here or he's doing something that he would eventually get caught for and get put in jail. Right. Which, aside from this, taking it a step further also kind of plays into something that does bother me is our jail system. People get put in jail, all of a sudden they get felonies put on them, and then when they come out, they want to do right.
Makes it even harder.
But having a felony on your record, there's a lot of places that won't hire you. So then all of a sudden it's harder to even get a job. So instead of getting a job you would want or you think you would be good at, you're getting stuck at a job that you hate, which eventually may turn you back to that life of crime.
Fall back on what you know best, honestly.
Which is a real shitty system. If anything, our jail systems need to do a better job of helping.
Well, it perpetuates the cycle.
Right.
Is basically, and that's what he's also referencing when he says, if I'm not on the grind, like, that cycle is already ingrained in the poorer parts,
right.
Or the parts where he's talking about. And yeah.
If I ain't on my grind, then I'm facing time. I wish my life was like a movie I can press rewind. And they was shooting through the blinds, can't even unwind. See, look, this world is selling crazy. I'm in fear for all my babies, shedding tears and filled with maybe. That's why I live on the daily trying to make.
And that is also something I can relate to, having kids, is that fear of them getting into trouble when they get older instead of doing what now. Same time, I don't have as much fear in that as a lot of people probably do. I think I've done a pretty good job at raising my kids to be upstanding individuals and doing what they're supposed to do. But it's still a fear you're always going to have because all it takes is that one negative influence that they latch onto to start taking them down that road. And especially with social media as being way more prevalent in today's world, where we didn't really have that until I was almost out of high school.
Right.
Um,
All of our minor to major screw ups weren't blasted everywhere yet.
right. So it's definitely, man, I'm so glad I'm not a kid anymore. As much as I'd like to go back to being a kid, I would like to go back to being a kid in my time, not being a kid in today's society.
Right. Without kids, I'm not going
Right.
to speak on the subject too much, but even for me in the past, just speaking from my own personal experience, even one of the minor fuck-ups, which wasn't necessarily influenced by peer pressure, but being with the wrong people at the wrong time. You were talking about getting a felony on your record. Any of those incidents
Yep.
where I was just at the wrong place at the wrong time could have ended with me not being able to get the jobs that you were talking about, being able to, do something with my life versus being stuck in a loop.
Right.
I'm in fear for all my babies, shedding tears and filled with maybe. That's why I live on the daily, trying to make it look gravy. My color cannot escape me, ain't no time for being lazy. Can't let no bullet replace me.
When I'm finished working, as tired as I am, and my work completely takes all my energy, unfortunately. But when there are kids who come backstage afterwards who want to talk or who are moved to the point, sometimes they're moved to tears, I want to know more about
You got
And that was something else I wanted to go over too. I just want to let her finish talking in the background. I don't know which interview or speech he's pulling from, honestly. Going back to the end of that verse, like he's talking about grinding almost as a image for his kids to look up to as far as how life is supposed to be, what they're supposed to do.
He's setting a model.
Like setting an example, a positive example in his kids' lives, which a lot of parents are not very good at. I think like even my parents to an extent, like they did a great job raising me, but there were some things that they did that I was just happy enough that I was old enough to see that, that's probably something I shouldn't be doing.
And we're all human, all
Right.
fallible.
Everyone fucks up. I'm not saying I was perfect at all.
Well, I'm just saying that every set of parents are going to have their own inconsistencies, own things that hopefully their children, as we mature and become adults, realize are not healthy.
But also, I love the end of that verse too, where he says he wasn't going to let a bullet replace him. A lot of people are raised with that type of violence, and this is Blitz basically saying like he's not going to let that happen.
Right. I like that they kept the movie kind of reference going, where he started with he wishes he could rewind it, but he also played it out further.
Right.
But I want more. Ain't nothing in this life coming easy. Hard to think about myself when people need me. How they represent my culture in the TV. We gotta want more. Keep a chain to the fame and the money. Running by my roots, demons haunt me. Got me feeling like nobody really want me.
I also think this is almost a shot at, and I won't say a direct shot. Well, it might even be a direct shot. A shot at the current hip hop society.
I was actually going to say that he's not just talking about being a role model and grinding for his kids anymore.
It's being a positive example for society,
culture.
period.
Yeah.
For the culture, because a lot of hip hop artists, and this isn't just like I'm sure he's even referencing African American hip hop artists, but it's hip hop artists in general. So many artists out there that are promoting drugs, violence, sex,
Right.
and all these other things. And he's like, I'm trying to provide more for so many others than just what you see on TV, what we're
shown as,
depicted
the
as.
culture
And
that we're part of, that we involve ourselves in. And it goes back to that, I'm not going to let a bullet replace me. He's not promoting violence or that kind of lifestyle. He's showing what can be possible.
right. Like him so far, Blitz?
I grew up as a shy nigga, GI nigga. Grew up, then I got high with them, they got fly with them. I don't stress about pie with them, I divide with them. Fuck with me, always strive with them, or cut ties with them. I think it's shady how your first return. Put so much trust in your childhood, thinking I learned. Let your kids think for themselves, if not men, then in return. You get the ones who feel entitled, not willing to earn. It
Right.
don't matter how we go, cause I'm the one to get it done now. With my kids, talent in my crib, look like Run's house. With my kids, trying to make a meal. At the same time, trying to make a meal. Got me contemplating deals now, so.
Now, I'm also loving what he's doing here. While still kind of taking shots at the overall society of things, he's showing the history of African Americans who have stood up in a right way as positive influence, like you saw Rosa Parks on the bus, and depictions of all these other movements and things that have happened that have been done in a positive way,
Non-violent protests
as opposed
that
to
were hallmarks,
right,
like absolute landmarks historically.
as opposed to the violent routes that you see a lot of people going nowadays. So.
Make a meal at the same time, trying to make a meal. Got me contemplating deals now, so pray on the daily, investing into these babies. I really just gotta make it, giving game and staying patient. No more hustle, complaining, new idea of being famous. I'm focused on making changes, just guarantee me a payment.
I can't do anything for myself, but when they need me for. And the most important thing is they are our future.
Yep.
It's an investment as far as I am concerned. When I invest time in young people from colleges, I know that I'm going to get that bread back. You know, bread cast upon the
You
water.
got
I like that.
The investment of time versus money versus
And Bliss is playing into that as well in his lyrics, where he's like, he has been tempted with deals and things like that, but like, he wants to be able to speak positively and
no.
be that positive role model, not just for
Right.
his kids, but for kids in general.
Well, the line that stuck out to me the most that this is all kind of played back into is the whole
Young people be in the future.
no, well, I mean, it plays into that is that having these kids as his responsibility doesn't leave much time for him to be focused on himself.
Right.
So all of his time, his investment, the reason for him grinding has been that. And of course, it's not just his children that he's talking about. He's talking about everyone that subscribes to him, follows him.
Right.
The bigger picture.
Which is actually one of the reasons I even started my channel, was to hopefully just be a positive influence for people in general, not necessarily just kids.
Well, yeah.
But hey, if I just get one person to say, hey, you make my videos, your videos make my day that much better,
Right.
it's worth it for me.
Right.
Except for all you people who think I pause it too much. You can go fuck yourselves.
that I want more. Ain't nothing in this life coming easy. Hard to think about myself when people need me. How they represent my culture in the TV. We gotta want more. Keep us chained to the fame and the money. Haunted by my roots, demons haunt me. Got me feeling like nobody really want me. We gotta want more.
Thing one day, and I'm too old to do anything but sit and look at them. I'm going to say, well, I was part of that. I never intended my children to look
I think that's
at me
Rosa Parks.
and be ashamed and say, Mama, why didn't you do something? I will have done mine.
Don't overpay for plain.
Stop. Anyways, Blitz, homie. I really like the song. I really like the message for it. And I think we do need to want more as a society for our kids, for the people around us.
And as individuals. I mean, it starts with that individual drive
Right.
to better yourself.
It actually reminds me of, I'm going to fuck up the quote horribly, but I think I will get the point of the quote across. JFK once says something along the lines of, change does not come like immediately. Change starts within you
Right.
and causes a chain reaction. You change who you are, you change yourself to who it is that you want to be, and that will start to spread out. And
Won't surprise you. That's what I was thinking of.
in the end, will define a generation. And hopefully the generation, like we can get to the point where racism is no longer a thing. I mean, it's always going to be a thing, that's to a minor extent, but we can at least try to contain it and
Eliminate the majority of it.
eliminate the majority of it, and not just racism, but any sort of ism that causes hate, whether it's sexism or
Any type of divisionism.
Right.
Is what you're talking, which is another ism, but again, that's where it starts.
and it always seems like once you start to clear up one, hate kind of just moves to another.
Yeah,
Because like once it became like there was a small period of time where it seemed like racism was kind of dying down, because then the hate for homosexuals and them started to rise up a little bit.
It's always a balancing act, and whether it's that it dies down or something else is taking the spotlight is questionable. But unfortunately, it seems to be the perpetual cyclical curse of humanity that we
Right.
always find something that we go against.
You guys want to see a good poem about this? Go check out Spoken Word, Prince EA,
It was very
and the song or the poem is called "I Am Not Black." It is an entire spoken word poem about labels in general,
very
and
good.
very good, very powerful. Anything else you'd like to wrap up with?
I mean, aside from the message, which I thought was very powerful, and I definitely enjoyed his flow and everything, but I wanted to say that the vibe to it, the beat, makes it enjoyable to re-listen. It
Right,
was definitely something that you could just enjoy.
right. All right, guys, that is going to do it. If you guys like the video, be sure to slash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. Comment down below. What did you think of King Blitz's More? Also, be sure to comment down below if there's anything else you guys would like to see us react to. Got you. Also, be sure to check the description below for my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Discord, and my BitChute, as well as the original link to this video. Please hop on over, give King Blitz some love. Tell him Depraved sent you. And then you'll also find links to the bar and the Vibe Discords, as well as their YouTube pages. If you go to the bar YouTube page, that is where you will find the Broken Halos podcast every Thursday night at 7 p.m. These lovely ladies, well, she's 1/3 of the lovely ladies. Nitro and Red being the other two.
Come to
Anyways,
the
guys.
bar voice chat if you're over 18, and not only are the Broken Halos normally in there, Depraved is also a member, and we can be found there quite frequently.
It's true. Anyways, guys, that is going to do it. We love y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Cannot wait to see you Depraved people later. Peace.